Welcome back into the Pulse on Campus here on this Friday afternoon. Kind of closing up the work week for you, with you, and talking a little football and talking a little college sports. We're not talking just football right now. We're having an interesting conversation, and the reason why we're bringing this up, I mentioned it right before the break, is, well, what school, if you had to choose to come to the SEC, which one would you choose? The reason for this, we decided, Kyle and I decided it'd be pretty fun because everybody, all college sports fans, absolutely love forums, love diving into the forums to see exactly, well, what people are saying. It's all about you guys. That's really what it is. So the question right now, I want to bring this up. This is on Rivals. The question is, if you had to choose, I think it's perfect that we're saying this because clearly they're a Nebraska fan too, is if you had to choose, who do you want to join your conference to make it 14 teams? Texas A&M plus. So Texas A&M is one of them teams. So in the SEC, if you are a fan, who do you want to join? So before we get into this, Kyle, I'll ask you this. You know, we were having this debate. We were kind of having this discussion. Liam, I want you jumping in on this too. Is if you could pick someone, who would you pick? Who would you want to be in the SEC?
Based on, originally I would always say Florida State. I always want them to be in the conference so you don't have that ACC moniker, because no matter what you do in any football conference, you're always going to be saying, well, you're playing in this conference, you're playing in that conference. Unless you're in the Big Ten where there's enough people that are going to fight against you, or you're in the SEC, you're really just going to say.
There's two conferences in college football.
Yeah, there's two. I mean, it's kind of like that. You're going to be said you're in this conference. So no matter what you prove, Florida State could go undefeated. They could beat Oklahoma as number one probably when the season starts, win the BCS championship, and you'll still have people saying, well, they're in the ACC. Like, of course they did that. They had an easy schedule. They had that. So Florida State immediately. But when we went into this forum, there was some pretty cool things that went on there.
Yeah.
And I have to say, they dropped this one part where the guy says, really, basically, you can't think about football. SEC's already ridiculous in football, so you need to make it to improve the conference in three areas.
Improve the conference, and I think that the biggest thing, one of the most important things is, if you are an SEC team, if you're Florida, or if you're Auburn, Alabama, do you really want another hard school to play against? I don't think so. I think you want maybe a little walk in the park. I mean, do you really want another insanely hard school to play against? I mean, really? That's tough to say that, well, I'd rather take this pancake game versus. Yes, Kyle, I see the faces.
I'll disagree with you. I think SEC football welcomes challenges.